Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's the Historical Gamer, and welcome back to part 5 of my Rule the Waves Succession series, which is a co-op series with Tortuga, XTRG, and myself. And this was taken from a live stream just a couple of days ago where I was playing through the series. And we are in the midst of a war with Italy, folks, so the war just began. We just fought a fleet action. We lost one battleship heavily damaged. Nothing sank from our battleships, but our destroyer flotilla, whoa, it got its behind handed to it. We lost 5 destroyers in that action. All of our larger 500-ton destroyers. If we take a look here, these ships were armed with 2 3-inchers, 4 2-inchers, and 2 torpedo tubes. So I'm hoping my new design, which is under construction right now with 4 torpedo tubes with 3-inch or 4-inch guns, maybe, actually. The ships under construction are 3-inch guns, 2 3-inchers, but no 2-inchers. Hopefully these guys will fare a little bit better once they do get into combat. You can see we actually have them. They'll be ready probably before the end of the war, 4 months away. We've also begun construction on some submarines. 20 submarines are currently being built, and we're building 2 AMC armed merchant cruisers that can make 21 knots, and they should be done in 4 months. They're kind of expensive. You can see we're pretty heavily in the red, but I'm hoping to get these guys out and acting as commerce raiders very soon. We've got one more battleship coming in 9 months. I'm hoping that comes before the end of the war, and maybe one of these super cruisers of ours will make it in time. But that's where we're at. And I think what we're going to do, I kind of feel like the flagship of my fleet is the Marangino. That's my opinion. And I'm going to rename my ship here for some of the people in the stream. So this ship is going to be Party Commissar. You are very active chatting up a storm here. So we'll go ahead and we'll name our flagship. Basically, we're turning into Communist France right now. Okay, so you get that battleship, even though it's the lead ship of a class. And then the Redoubtable will be renamed. Well, I'm not going to do too much time on this, but I'll do 1 or 2 people here. So I see someone in the chat named Locked. We'll go ahead and name that one after you. And then we're going to go ahead and name one of our ships the Duncan, because I've got someone in here named Duncan. Okay. So, we've got 3 ships named after you folks now, and I do still have the weird cruiser. It's actually, where is it right now? It's in the Indian Ocean as a commerce raider, this bizarre-looking cruiser. It probably, I mean, it's still got the traditional sort of ship design, but it seems like there's bits of the ship that are overhanging here. It just looks a little bit weird to me. So, yes, I do still have it, but it's currently a commerce raider. So, why does the map look so bizarre? I don't know why the map looks like that. I must have been really zoomed in on Africa. Okay, so that's where we're at right now. We're losing 2-1 in victory points, but I'm hoping maybe we can shift this over to a blockade by shifting some of our forces to the Mediterranean to gain a overwhelming control in the Med. So let's see what happens here. We'll go ahead and jump forward 1 more turn. I'm changing submarine warfare to unrestricted, but I don't think it matters because we have no subs. Insufficient ships on foreign stations. Okay, so you can see the Prime Minister wants 25,000 tons of ships on foreign stations. I don't know what that means when it comes to war, but we need 25,000 tons. That's a lot of tonnage. I don't want to dispatch a battleship. That would be kind of crazy, wouldn't it? Let's see here. But it would really sap our heavy cruiser force as well if they're not engaged in fighting. Nonetheless, I guess I'll have to do it, so we'll put these 2 guys on foreign station. Wait, I thought I just issued them on foreign station. Oh, they're repairing. Well, for flip's sake, I can't do that then. We'll take these 2 raiders and put them on foreign station then. And that matches our need. They're 25,000 tons exactly. Unfortunately, they're probably 2 of the best commerce raiders we could have that can fend for themselves. But we'll just have to put the Guidon classes in when they get back from repair. So we'll go ahead and we'll jump forward. We just got a new cruiser. Italian raider Bari sinks 4 French merchantmen for 20 victory points, and another one sank for 15. Convoy attack south of Sicily. Medium-sized fight. It says these forces are available in the region, but it never works out that way. It's not a fleet action. It's not going to have 12 battleships. So let's go ahead and see what happens in this convoy action. Hopefully I can ravage an enemy convoy, unless we're defending. Doesn't look like we're defending. So hopefully we've got, looks like 2 light cruisers, 3 destroyers there. What's this over here? Is this a light cruiser, or is this just a random flag, apparently? Okay. I don't know where to sail. I don't have any ships sighted, so I guess we're just going to have to kind of let it run and see what happens. Unknown ship sighted. So 2 enemy ships north here. Hopefully they don't have overwhelming force. We certainly are much closer to Italy than France. So always got to be a little bit nervous, but we'll crank the speed up a bit. We'll jump up to, let's say, 21 knots. It looks like our max speed. We'll shift north. We'll allow these to be AI controlled. And let's go ahead and see what happens as we close the distance. So 2 enemy light cruisers. It looks like maybe a convoy or a task force. That's a lot of enemy light cruisers. Jesus Christ. So we are definitely outnumbered here, but there are merchant ships and troop ships. I believe TR stands for troop ships. So our goal, our objective here is to sink 2 enemy troop ships. I'm assuming that's what TR means. If not, it's some sort of merchantman. So the enemy cruisers are sailing that way. We're just going to kind of sail into the heart of this enemy flotilla and see if maybe we can do some damage. So our ships are taking some damage as we sail through this enemy fleet here. Enemy destroyer is hit by a torpedo. I'm okay with that. I'm surprised that the enemy destroyer didn't sink. You would think it would sink if it was indeed hit by a torpedo. We just sailed through the heart of the enemy flotilla. Let's see what our damage is at. 37% for... Shurkov suffered very little damage, so our flagship got away scot-clean. Forbin definitely suffered some damage, mostly structural, very little flotation damage. Our destroyer Durandal almost doesn't look like it took damage, and our destroyers Yatkin, no hits, and Falcon did stuff for 1 light hit, which is causing some structural damage. So I'm going to tell my guy to turn around and sail right back. Meanwhile, Foibin, we're going to have him sail off to the north. Hopefully he can make better speed than that. Doesn't look like it. The enemy definitely can destroy us. They've got 2 light cruisers, quite a few destroyers. So we'll see what happens here. But again, I'm not too concerned about my light cruisers. I've got a superior fleet on the whole. I'd rather do some damage to these merchantmen. It'll give me some victory points. We'll just do 5 minutes at a time. So you can see here we've sunk at least 1 enemy ship. We're just going to kind of keep sailing back and forth and attempt to destroy some enemy warships here. Or not warships, but TRs. You can see they definitely seem to be slowing down. Resilient little buggers they are. Sink, you bastards. Come on, guys. Can't believe they're not sinking. I suppose I could launch... Okay, so we did sink at least 2. So we're going to continue to... So you can see 1 enemy destroyer, 2 TRs destroyed. We're going to just kind of continue sailing around these ships. It looks like the enemy warships more or less pulled out. Either that or they're attacking... No, they're attacking our ships north. Forbin's out of sight, so it's AI control. But the enemy has abandoned its merchant convoy, so... I guess they're more focused on, you know, destroying a couple of our warships than they are protecting their own merchantmen, which, I don't know, maybe that's the right call, but I'm not sure about that. You see, we've got 3 destroyers and 1 light cruiser south here. I probably... yes. I probably shouldn't have detached Foibin, but it looks like it's coming back. Actually, it looks like we've got a couple more light cruisers which have come into the situation here. Galilee, a couple other cruisers, which are battling it out with enemy cruisers. It looks like at distance, while we swoop up the remainder of the convoy. Yes, okay, we're picking up survivors. I'm okay with that. I think you get victory points for picking up enemy survivors. But this, I don't know if they're troop ships. TR, what does that stand for? Anybody know? Transport, troop ship. Okay. Looks like we have a light cruiser division up north. Okay, so I think that does it for the engagement. So now we just have to wait for the game to tell us the battle can end. It doesn't look like any of our ships are fighting. Okay. All right, so let's end the battle now. I don't know if this means other ships are fighting. No, ultra fast. No one's fighting. So, no opposing sides. Okay. So we lost one light cruiser. Well, not lost. We had one heavy cruiser, or one light cruiser heavily damaged, one medium cruiser one light cruiser medium damaged, 3 light cruisers lightly damaged, and 1 destroyer lightly damaged. Only 1 light cruiser and 2 destroyers escaped damage, so that's 5 cruisers damaged on our end. The enemy lost 2 destroyers sunk, and 4 light cruisers lightly damaged. So the lightly damaged was about on even between us and them. We lost a medium and a heavy damaged, but they lost nothing, medium and heavy damaged. However, they lost 2 destroyers sunk, of which we lost nothing sunk, and they lost 8 auxiliaries sunk, and we lost no auxiliaries sunk. So at the end of the day, our convoy raid was successful, and we do get credit for a major victory there. So 10,000 points versus their 3,000. Hopefully that accomplishes something in the grand scheme of things. So if we leave the scenario, we get 800 victory points to their 300. So we actually take the lead on the war, folks. That's a nice victory there with 8 Italian merchants sunk. And you can actually see Italy is now blockaded. That B there means Italy is blockaded by our fleet, which means we control the seas in the Mediterranean. With that convoy action, the enemy convoy is destroyed, and we're in the process of blockading Italy and hopefully strangling it so that its people say, well, what the hell? We don't care about Eritrea. We'll give that to France. We don't care about Sardinia. We'll give that to France. And maybe we'll even give Sicily to France. That's probably not realistic, but maybe. So that's where we're at right now. We've got a slight lead. I might be getting ahead of myself, but one minor victory in a fleet action, which you'd think would be more important for the Italians, where they ravaged our destroyer fleet, and one minor victory or major victory in a convoy action. And actually, I guess it's worth pointing out, we did sink 2 destroyers, so we helped narrow the destroyer loss gap a little bit. If we look at what's in service here, we've got more ships out for repair after that action, though quite a few of our cruisers are out of commission, at least for a month. And we're at negative 3 million in our monthly balance. We're going to need to balance that soon. I don't think we can sustain that. We're going to have to pause some ships to help get our finances back in order. Not quite yet, but in a turn or two. So, some new light cruisers coming on action. Some research for fire control. Research breakthrough ship design medium wing turrets. Okay. Italian raider Nino Bixo sinks 2 French ships for 10 VPs. And Bari sinks 3 French merchants for 15 VPs. Also, a heavy Italian cruiser sinks... the French heavy cruiser... French ship CA Gaudian intercepts Italian raider in West Africa. Auto-resolve. Okay, so the Italian heavy cruiser escapes. So, if we take a look, Italy's still blockaded. Intel reports, what is it, January? The rumors of war weariness protests in Italy. Okay, that's good. They've rumored to halt construction of one of their battleships due to financial difficulties. That's good. Italian strikes and labor unrest delayed construction of various ships in August. That was a few months ago, or I don't even know. Our war hasn't even been going on that long. Okay. Messages. Do we get any VP for having them blockaded? 240 victory points for... So sure, they got like 60 VPs from those commerce raiders, but we get 240 victory points for blockading them, which is good. Good. That's good news. Our monthly balance is going down further. It does look like we've got some of those repaired ships back in the fleet, so just a couple of ships remaining that are being repaired. Our destroyers are racing toward completion, which are good because we need those to replace our losses. And our finances are a mess, but we'll have to pause ships next turn. More Italian commerce raiders and an enemy coastal raid in northern France. It looks like they've got one battleship, maybe, one light cruiser and one AMC versus our one battleship, 4 light cruisers, and 2 destroyers. So I guess we'll accept that battle. Enemy appears unable to muster enough ships, gain 95 victory points. Okay, so they did a raid and then didn't do the raid. Hey, that works. They're still blockaded and we are not. Let's see here. Intel, messages. I don't know if we still get those VPs or not. Is that this turn? Yeah, 230 for... Okay, so we're expanding our lead ever so slightly in turn of victory points against the Italians, although no decisive actions. Quite a few destroyers sunk on our side, a few on theirs. And right now our funds are in terrible shape, so we need to pause some ships. We're at $4 million in the red. Halt construction on this bad boy at 15 months. The Marseille, we'll have to pause it for a bit. And then maybe on one of these AMCs, although they're both done next turn. You know what? Let's just pause construction on the battleship. Not that one. Yeah. Okay. Because then these guys will come off the yard right away and we'll be good. So AMCs commissioned to the Navy. FOIB and engine problems. Intelligence Service is considering offering safe passage for a revolutionary of some renown to his home country, Italy. This will foment revolution and may force them to the negotiating table. On the other hand, revolutionaries tend to be contagious. What do we recommend? Should we be careful about stoking the embers of revolution? It may well backfire. Or will these revolutionaries be as dangerous to us as the enemy? Lock them up and throw away the key. Or give them safe passage. What do we want to do, folks? Be careful? I guess that means just don't do anything. We could throw him in our own jail, which will increase our prestige, or give him safe passage in the diabolical attempt to end the war quickly. What do you guys think? We want to give him safe passage? I will say I'm using one of the reasons I switched to beer, by the way, guys, instead of continuing to drink whiskey, is because I was walking up the stairs in our apartment a little while ago, and I fell forward onto the stairs because I'm an idiot. I was carrying something and I tripped. Fell forward and I caught my hand right on the edge of the stair, and somehow all my fingers were fine except my pinky, which decided to bend like all the way back to my hand. I could move it around just fine. Everything was fine for maybe 30 seconds afterwards, so I know I didn't like break anything. But then it swelled up like a balloon and still is pretty swollen right now. So my beer is my ice pack right now. This happened a few hours ago. Okay, so I've got one person saying doing it. What do the rest say? I mean, we are France. I guess we should support the revolution, right? I mean, like, Viva la Revolution! So I guess we will go ahead and give him safe passage because France is the country of revolutionaries, right? Italian raider. The Italian raider Bari has been interned in a neutral port due to mechanical problems. Ha! Take that, Italy. French ship Surakot intercepts Italian raider in the Mediterranean. I mean, I don't really feel like fighting a single ship battle because it'll just be us sailing around in circles and seeing what happens. So, auto-resolve. Enemy raider Bari is sunk by the Surakov. Hurrah! We sunk the enemy raider, and wow, we got 500 victory points. So we just sank an enemy raider, which gave us quite a bit of victory points, and successful victory against an Italian light cruiser. So the Italians have now lost 2 destroyers and 1 light cruiser in this war so far, I believe. Meanwhile, our AMCs are now working up in Northern Europe. I wonder if we'll put them on raiding. Does anybody know what mines do? Do mines influence your ability to sink enemy merchant ships when you raid? Destroyer Punjar is commissioned to the Navy. Trouble reaching design speed. Alright, our new destroyers came online. Enemies sounded out about negotiated peace with us gaining disputed border areas and some of their colonies. The Prime Minister wants to know your opinions. So, disputed border areas on some of their colonies. We can secure even better terms if we crush them. We should not let them off cheaply. We should press them for hard terms. These terms sound like a good basis for peace negotiation. Okay, so it seems to me like most of the time when we agree to peace in anything except a full-on revolution, what ends up happening is the enemy ends up not giving up anything and you get a white peace. This seems to be saying that we would gain actual territory. I think I'm okay if we go to peace. I mean, frankly, guys, I'm kind of curious. I'm not sure. I'm okay with going to peace if we actually get something out of it. What I don't want to do is I don't want to go to peace and just end with a white peace and fight that war for no reason. So I'm not sure what the answer to that is. Kind of open for opinion here, but I think what I'm looking at doing is I like the idea of pressing for peace. But if I so I could press for harder terms, but that means we'll keep fighting, right? And then you just keep pressing for harder terms and keep pressing for harder terms and keep pressing for harder terms until what? They fall apart with revolution? I don't want to overthrow the king of Italy. That's not my goal. I mean, I suppose I could press for harder terms, and we'll see what happens. I don't know how many months will go by. I like the idea of a short, quick war, though. So I guess we'll go ahead and press for harder terms. Peace negotiations founded on mutually unacceptable demands. Okay, so peace negotiations foundered. And now we have a fleet battle, so maybe Italy feels like, okay, we've got to do something. The war isn't going our way. Sail the fleet out. Maybe this is a Scapa Flow moment. But it looks like we're going to have another major engagement relatively quickly. That was pretty quick. The last one took like 40 minutes to resolve. All right, folks, so that's going to end part 5 of my Let's Play of Rule the Waves, in which we're in the middle of a war with Italy. This video, the war is turned around in our favor a bit. So at the moment, you can see that we're up 2,985 victory points to only 1,700 Italian victory points. That convoy action really helped us, and the continued blockade of Italy is continuing to help us. That indecisive initial fleet action has been put behind us, and France is marching toward its inevitable victory, or so I say. That is going to do it for this part. However, the next video will pick up where the war has left off, and we'll continue going from there. But I appreciate you guys tuning in, and until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.